Good morning. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone, to all of our wonderful viewers who are tuning in on this gorgeous, gorgeous Monday. Thank you so much. I can see quite a few of you who have started trickling in. So, as you are dialing in, why don't you tell us quickly which city are you dialing in from? I'm from Mumbai. I have Ramya here, who's from Mumbai. And then we have folks who've joined in all the way from California. So, it would really help us understand where our audiences are coming in from today and where are you joining us in from. So, quickly in the chat window, if you could let us know which city you're dialing in from. I'm sure you're all very excited about the session today. You all are very excited to know what this session is all about. And I'm going to speak to you about that briefly in a little bit. But like I mentioned, close to 120 of you. Wow. So we have someone from Saudi Arabia who's joined in. Okay. Someone who's put their Firefly notes in. We are going to be sharing a recording of the session with you. So not to worry. We have someone from Pakistan, anyone from India, Africa, Southeast Asia, Middle East, right? We have someone from India. Hi, we have someone from Lagos, Nigeria. Wow. So people from the length and breadth of the country, thank you so much from various different time zones. I'm sure you all are very excited. Like I said, exciting topic coming up. We're going to be talking about transforming operations, a masterclass in business process automation. Sounds very exciting. I am very excited to learn more. So, what are we going to be talking about? We're going to learn how organizations stream workflows and eliminate manual bottlenecks using modern automation tools, which have now come into the marketplace. I am not an expert, but the expert is going to be talking about that in this session about how you can learn and use simple and effective strategies to optimize these operations and enhance productivity. Now, who who's bringing this masterclass to you? As many of you can probably see the background that Ramya has. Yes, it's the University of San Francisco's Massillon School of Business, sitting in the heart, the center of San Francisco's innovation hub. All the excitement, that's where it takes place. And yes, it is ranked number one in student diversity in the US, with thousands of alumni spanning different industries from tech and banking to AI and startups. So that's the hub which is opening up powerful career pathways as an international student. If that is that is something that you're looking in for, this is the university that you need to target. I could go on and on, but before that, let me quickly do a quick round of introductions to the panel, starting with myself. My name is Sabaha Kurzuk. I'm a Senior Associate Director with Seed Global Education. We're a UK headquartered company which facilitates interactions between top global universities, like the one that we have here with us today, and prospective students like yourself, giving you a taste of what the faculty has to offer. How does a typical classroom take place? Also helping you connect with the admissions reps who are present with me on the call today, helping you make those informed choices about your education and career plans. Joining me on the panel today is Dr. Datkar. Thank you so much, Professor, for joining us. He's an associate professor and the program director at USF, specializing in human-centric and data-driven approach to technology, design, and information systems. His teaching blends critical thinking, experimental learning, and real-world tech applications. I am super excited about this masterclass, and I'm sure so are all of you. Along with him, we have Hannah Artis, who is the Senior Director of Graduate Admissions at the School of Management. Hannah comes in with so many years of experience of enrollment management, graduate admissions, operations. Along with her, we also have Ramya Narani, who is the Associate Director for Graduate Recruitment in India. So both of these people are your go-to people if you're looking to get admissions and want to know more about the university. Get in touch with them. And I'm sure they are wonderful people, which I know they are, and they will definitely help you out. Great. I can see we are close to 250 of you in the audience. But before we get started, I want to know, what exactly are you excited to learn about from today's masterclass? So I'm going to be running a short poll question on the screen in front of you. Which area of automation are you most interested in exploring? Are you someone who wants to know more about workflow automation, how it will help streamline routine tasks and approvals? Are you someone who wants to go more into details and know more about the robotic process automation, or the RPA, which is automative repeating rule-based activities? Are you someone who's interested in knowing more about the data integration and analytics, how connecting data systems for real-time insights work? Are you someone who wants to know more about the end-to-end process redesign? So you could be someone who's interested in all of these, which I completely understand. But I want to just get an understanding as to which of these areas are you really most keen about learning about, or something that you really want to explore. So I'm going to keep this question on the screen in front of you for a few more seconds. I can see quite a few of you who have voted. We're close to 260 people and counting as we go. So if all of you could quickly go and cast your vote on the screen in front of you, which area of automation are you most interested in exploring? Which is more in demand during. We are going to be knowing more about that and also the students and the background in the session. So stay tuned till the end. A lot of your questions are going to get answers. With that, I'm going to end the poll question and share the results in front of you. So 38% of the audience is interested in data integration and analytics, closely followed by workflow automation and a few others. Professor, I hope that gives you a little bit of a glimpse as to what our audiences are expecting tonight. With that, Professor Dadkar, over to you for your presentation.
Absolutely. Thanks very much, Sabahat, and hello to everyone who's joined us for this presentation. So let me share my screen first and start the presentation. Okay, so as Sabahat mentioned, my name is Kurosh Datgar. I'm the program director of the MSIS program that we offer at the University of San Francisco School of Management. And I'm also the professor in these analytics, business analytics, and information systems areas. My topic today will be about business process automation and management. I'm going to provide some context first in my presentation. And I'm going to be using a critical lens when I discuss business processes, and I will be zooming in and zooming out to show the complexity and layered and networked nature of business processes, how they're important. And after I provide that context, I'll provide one specific example of business processes in finance, one of the most typical, commonly used business processes in finance. And then after that, I will provide a model, a conceptual model that will bring everything together, which will help you understand or kind of give you some insight into where automation plays an important role in business processes and why it's important and what is its impact. Just wanted to start with this very broad context of business processes. And speak to the fact that information systems field, why it is today very relevant and timely. And business process management, business process automation is one of those areas where information systems critical perspective will help us understand how business processes work, what are their applications, and how effective they can be, how we can redesign them. So the information systems field was it emerged in the 60s in the US and around the world when organizations started using computers to manage their business activities, including business processes. And when they started to use computers, or the companies, businesses, organizations, back then only big companies could afford it. They're very expensive technologies over time, as you will all know. That the cost of technology has significantly dropped, and even consumers and users, individual users, can afford the cost of computing power. So back then, this organization started asking that where can we use these computers to make our business processes more efficient, to meet our business requirements. So. And then over time, what we are seeing today is the reemergence of this information systems perspective, management information systems perspective, that is helping organizations, companies to address the same kinds of problems, the same kind of issues, the same kind of needs today as well. And today, what they're asking or what they're wondering about is that where can we use artificial intelligence, AI, generative AI, all those automation capabilities in their organization. So they're asking the same kind of questions. And for the same reasons that information systems provided that critical perspective for the organization to address all those big questions, information systems field is also relevant today helping organizations to address all those big questions about AI. Where can we use AI in our business process to be more effective? And those are the types of roles or responsibilities that we'll be seeing more and more compared to what it was before. That, for example, in the 60s, we had business process management as the field of business process reengineering. Basically, organizations were redesigning their entire business processes to adopt and use computer technologies. Today, they're asking the same questions where the field of information systems will help them critically think about those big questions. I just wanted to give this very broad context. It's within this context that I'm looking at a business process and I'm discussing them with you. So why a process lens in general is important. And so I just wanted to start with that by saying that what companies and organizations and businesses in this new work model are looking for is requiring a new set of competencies and skill sets that is quite different from how much it was needed in the past, these competencies. And what companies are looking for is to they're from their employers, from their employees, from their staff, from their business analysts, from their system analysts, from their data analysts, project managers, product managers, program managers, all those people, is that they would like them to have this critical lens when they're looking at problems, when they're looking at issues, when they are trying to identify opportunities or improvements in business processes specifically. And I would that's the perspective we're taking today. And again, we are enabled to be critical about business processes because we're looking at it within this broad context of information systems, where we looked at business activities, business processes, projects, products, people, hardware, software through this critical lens. And we would like to see that what are the business opportunities, analytically thinking about those big questions, solving problems, and thinking of organizations like systems where they have different components that are working together in a network or in a chain, and then looking at systems or organizations or complex problem in an abstract manner. So it will this critical thinking that we are empowered by in the information systems field will help us to have all those competencies that you can see on the right. And that's what a lot of organizations and companies and employers that I talk to and I have observed over time, that's what they're asking for when it comes to, for example, AI is going to be automating a lot of manual tasks or responsibilities. What they're looking for more and more today is that critical thinkers, analytical thinkers, problem solvers, system thinkers, abstract reasoning people, so that they can simplify complex problems for them and help them address those big questions that I said. And the field of information system and a subfield or sub section of it, which is business process management, business process automation, will help organizations to address all those big questions. So I would like to say that we are wearing this lens when we're looking at the topic of business process management and what it is and how it can be more efficient. So the question is that what is now a business process? So I'm going to provide some overview of a business process first, because before we can use AI or Gen AI, or I saw that in the chat, some were saying that, well, about business processes, what I'm interested in is agentic AI. Obviously, each of these subtopics are very extensive, and we cannot cover in depth a lot about them in 30 minutes, 35 minutes presentation. But I just want to give you some quick insights and make you think the depth and complexity and the importance and significance of business processes, and the perspective the critical perspective that you can gain from process thinking. So, which is what I discussed in the previous slide. So, a business process. What is a business process? When we look at the business process, it's very important to define it based on a very reliable framework so that we make sure that everyone is on the same page the way we refer to business processes. When we discuss business processes or define them, we define them as a network or a chain of different components. So this idea of a network or chain in a business process is very important because it highlights the fact that if you make a change in any part of a business process, it will have impact on the components that are connected to it throughout the entire process. So that helps us become more cognizant and more aware where we're making changes, that changes are not happening in isolation. Changes will have the network effect or chain effect from the, even if we make a change at the beginning of a process, it's going to have impact at the end of it, in the middle of it, different parts of it that are all connected to it. Now, what are those components of this chain process? So the component of a business process, we break it down so that we can analyze it. We are able to gain systems thinking or critical thinking once we are able to break those problems, big questions or problems that we have into smaller components. So what are the small components of a business process? This is a definition that is universally accepted in the field of business process management. We say that a business process is a chain of activities or tasks that are performed. They're performed by different actors in a process, by different roles or responsibilities in different process, so that we can assign different tasks to different roles, and we can know that who is performing which tasks. Those roles or actors could be people, could be different stakeholders, they could be computer systems, they could be AI agents, right? So it's very important to break down a process into smaller components so that we can later on decide, are we going to automate this specific task or activity, or should we have it a hybrid, a combination of automation and human elements in it, or should it be 100% automated, right? So it's very important to systematically think about a business process. So through business processes, there are points in time that the direction and the course of the process changes completely towards its final outcome. And those are the decisions that we make in the process. So it's very important in the business process to identify where or at which points in time in the process we are making those critical decisions that the course of the process changes. That could be, for example, when we are developing a product, or we are doing, for example, quality assurance testing, where we're testing a product, right? If you're testing a platform or product, when we're testing it, we have a decision to make. Is there any defect in the product? Is everything looking okay? Or do we need to loop back and make some changes? So that's a critical decision in a process that we need to identify those decision points in the process. And also, there are events in the process. The first is that, where does the process start? What is the beginning step? What's the beginning point? What's the starting point of a process? What is the final point of process? When can we say end to end, the process starts from here at this event, and it ends at this very end once we achieve this outcome in the process? So this end-to-end definition will help us slice and dice a set of activities or tasks that we perform to achieve a very specific outcome or goal. And that's another important component of a business process. So these components combined in a chain or network will help us perform a business function. We have business processes to perform a business function. What are some examples of those functions? For example, a payment process, an order process, an invoice process, a customer support process, a project that is a combination of different processes. The field of project management, anyone who's certified or has taken exam, that field is defined by a set of processes that we perform in a project management to achieve project goals. So specifically about business processes, it's a chain of those components to perform a business function. And more importantly, what we would like to accomplish at the very end of a business process or would like to come out of it is by creating values for the organization, for the business that is performing those business processes and creating values for our customers. I will later on talk about what we mean by values later on. But so the goal of a business process is those components, they function in a chain because changes don't happen, improvements do not happen in isolation to achieve a business goal, to perform a business function and provide or create values for businesses and customers. So when we talk about business processes, I would like to, in the next few slides, to give you the complexity and depth of business processes that and give you a bit a kind of a look into that network that I just mentioned, so that you can get a better understanding of how complex the business processes can be. That's why we must take that critical lens, and we have to break it into components so that we can manage that complexity and achieve our business goals by creating values for the business and customers. So if you all look at these sub processes that I have on the slide, in the slides and on your screens, you see, look at it. So we have sub processes such as sourcing processes, where we get the supplies, or if it's a digital product, we get the content from different sources. Then we have the order process, when we order those supplies or content or digital content from different suppliers. Then we have the invoicing process, where we will be making payment for the service or the supplies that are provided for us. And then we need to manage our relationships with suppliers, organizations, businesses. They need to manage their relationships with suppliers so that they can work with them based on specific terms or contracts or agreements, right? So when we look at just these sub processes all together, they're all part of a bigger, if we zoom out, they're all part of a bigger process that what we call procurement. Procurement is the most strategic business process in any supply chain, because if you can work well with your suppliers and get their supplies from them that are cheap and are provided for your company in a timely manner and in an efficient manner, that will have impact throughout the rest of their supply chain for you. So what we're looking at, it's only at looking at the sub process. And if it unbox, or if you open up each of these sub processes, for example, sourcing, it has its own sub process. If you look at order process, it has its own sub processes. And we're going to later on focus on this order, specifically order process, and we'll look at its sub processes. So we can zoom in into each of these processes and find more components or more activities or tasks or decisions that we make. And depending on the level of analysis, we can gain different insights into sub-processes, and we can manage them differently. But now let's look at the other components of the supply chain process that is connected to procurement, because procurement doesn't happen in isolation, right? It's connected, for example, to it facilitates inbound logistics, where we get the supplies, right? We get the supplies, we work with suppliers through the procurement process. And then once we get the supplies, we turn them into products. It could be a digital product, it could be a physical product, right? We manufacture them, we make the products. And then we distribute the products to our customers, to our users, to our consumers. So that's another set of, at the procurement level, at the higher level, that's another set of processes that need to work with the manufacturing process, inbound logistics or procurement processes. And then we have a set of other processes such as sales and marketing, where we need to decide how are we going to sell our products and services to our customers, right? How can we market them? How can we identify our customers? How can we work with our customers? The whole area of customer relationship management is related to that part. And then at the very end, once we sell our the products and services to our customers, we need to stay in touch with them. We need to have post-sale services, sales services, to see that how are they happy with our products? Are there any complaint? Are there any support we can provide for them? That's the customer support process, which is very important. Just a very quick point about customer support, that it has become a very important area for automation and AI and Gen AI. And if you have heard of tech-enabled services that we call as software as a service or SaaS services, platform as a service, infrastructure as a service, now some companies, because of AI capabilities, they're offering customer support as a service. So they offer to the businesses that we can automate the entire customer support for you using chatbots or agents that will automate it entirely for them. So they offer that as a service. So now, if we package all of this together, what we get is that these are only high-level supply chain processes for just one business in the entire network of businesses that work together. So if we can zoom in more and if we zoom out more, we'll see that business A, with all those processes that we looked at the supply chain level, at the procurement level, one example of sub processes, they need to work with their customers and clients and users, right? So they have that kind of relationship with them. At the same time, we're kind of zooming out right now, right? So business A from the previous slide that we'll look at its sub processes. Now we're kind of zooming out to see that all those processes from supply chain, they need to be related, or we need to work them out with our customers, clients, or users. We need to work them out with other businesses that we have relationships with them for in different capacities. And then those businesses, they have their own relationships with their clients and users. And all of these players in this network, a higher level network of processes, they need to be in compliance with regulations and policies and standards and best practices. Some of those policies or regulations are industry specific. Some of them are country specific, national processes. For example, in healthcare processes or industry in the US, we have this regulations about HIPAA, which is all about how much healthcare providers can share data about patients, for example. When they are allowed, they need to get their consent to share that, right? So there are some specific country specific. If you look at the Europe, for example, in Europe, we have GDPR, which is General Data Protection Regulation. That is a very strict policy. You might have heard of it, that it empowers users with companies who go and offer their businesses services in Europe. They need to be compliant with GDPR regulation, and they need to be very transparent. For example, how much data they're using about consumers. They need to be bias free and all of that. So if you're offering your products in Europe, you need to be in compliance with those standards. And there are some internationally recognized standards and processes. So when we zoom out, we see that businesses with all those sub processes, they have all these relationships with different businesses, with their users, and all of that need to be regulated. Governance as an important part of business processes, because if you violate any of these policies or regulations, you need to, for example, for the GDPR in Europe, you need to pay 5%, about 5% of your annual revenue as penalty if you violate, and that's a lot of money. So you need to make sure when you're designing your processes, when you're thinking about your business process, make sure you need to make sure it's in compliance with any existing in this industry specific national and international policy. So what becomes important in this complex network when we zoom in and zoom out into this complexity is that successful processes, companies or businesses that have effective processes are the ones that are able to adapt and scale. And that is why the idea of automation becomes important. The role of AI becomes important because it will help organizations or businesses to adapt to all these variability that we see in the relationships between different businesses in different countries, internationally, all these regulations and all of that. It will help companies, organizations to adapt and scale their processes as they navigate their relationships internally within their own business, procurement, supply chain, and outward or externally between different processing companies. So when business processes that we'll look at, we can improve them by going through a set of steps. Processes have a life cycle. The life business process management has a life cycle. When we are the very first step of a business process management life cycle is to identify what is a process, what are our processes, what are they made of, what are their components, how are they related? Like I said, which tasks are we performing, who's performing what are the responsibilities of different actors or different roles, what decisions are we making, and what are the expected outcomes what are all of this? So the very first step is defining, collecting data, identification of business process, and then we will analyze our business processes and see that what's going on, what issues do we have, where are the bottlenecks in processes, where do we need to make improvement? For example, where are we spending a lot of time on one specific process that where do we have a lot of fragmented tasks that we're performing where we need to automate things where can we save time, right? Where can we be more efficient? So the next step is analysis. That's a very metric, objective, qualitative, and quantitative step in business process management. So once we do all that assessment and analysis, then we make changes. We suggest redesigns. We redesign the process, and then we implement the solutions that we have for the process when we're redesigning it. And then we monitor those changes over time to see if they are improving over time, whatever metric we have. For example, we are able to get 5% less complaints from customers. We're getting less complaints, or we are able to be more efficient to work with the customer complaints or the questions or issues that they have about our products or services 10% more because we introduce automation, right? And if we see the numbers going up or down, right? If they go up, we go through this process again. So business process management, the point of this slide is that business process management is a systematic, framework-driven approach, and it's an iterative process. It's not a one-time solution or implementation. We're constantly looking at processes as we grow, as we scale, as we offer more products or services. So I talked about values, right, in a business process, said that one of the outcomes of a business process to create values for businesses or customers. What are the values for businesses? They would like to make more money. They would like to be more profitable. They would like to be in compliance. I mentioned that. They would like to, one of the things that we focus on at the University of San Francisco is the societal and environmental impact of our business decisions, our business products, our products and services. So they would like to be environmentally friendly. They would like to be socially aware of the products or services throughout their processes. They would like to be secure. They secure their data. They would like to have effective policies and a good governance in place. And they would like to be efficient, save time and money. And what about the employees? What are the values for them that we generate for them through our business processes? We will hold accountable who's working on what, so that we can get to the root causes of any issues that might exist. If something goes wrong, if there are any quality issues, we help our employees to be more productive once we know that who's performing what and to what extent and what are their roles and what are their responsibilities. Now, what about the customers? The customers, what they care, what the value we can provide for them. Once we know all the components of a process, we have analyzed this, we have assessed it, is that we can protect their privacy, we can secure their data, or overall, we can provide a better experience for them, provide services for them that are fast, that are cost effective, that are more convenient, and they don't have to deal with a lot of errors. One of the things that I've observed with companies is that they don't have this critical process management perspective, and they have fragment processes, right? So they go through it one at a time, and they make some changes and then make some improvements, and they have to deal with it again and again and again. And that's why we need to have a framework-driven, systematic approach for business process management so that we don't have to get customers complaining or running into issues one day at a time. So, um, business process, when we talk about now, we talked about business processes, we can automate them. When we talk about automation, automation is not just to automate or make everything AI driven, for example, or AI enabled. We have different choices to make. Sometimes for some laborious manual tasks, time consuming, repetitive tasks, those are the good candidates for the tasks in a process that can be fully automated. But that's not always the choice. Sometimes the best choice, the most effective automation we can make in a process for a business process activity or task is to partially automate it, mixed with human oversights. So we have those options that we need to very carefully decide which process needs to be fully automated, partially automated. Where do we place the human oversight when we are automating processes? Now, what is the journey of process automation? In the very beginning, like I said, in the 60s, companies were transforming their business processes that were more manual, paper-based, binder-based, processes into computers. So that was a huge change and improvement for them from paper-based to digital transformation, major digital transformation. Over time, then we had computers that could automate certain specific tasks for us. They could save us some time. That's an area of a robotic process automation that we create some models. We deploy them in our systems on our platforms, and they will perform very specific predefined tasks for us. Robotic automation. What we see today is generative AI that is implemented or embedded into a platform where we can conversationally ask perform certain analysis. For example, find us where are the bottlenecks, where we are spending a lot of time, where we need to make some improvements. And then what would be expecting in the future is the artificial general intelligence, where computers can perform a set of number of tasks. They can do invoicing, they can do payment, they can do shipment, they can do customer support, all that together. That's the direction we're taking. That's where we're going. Some say that it's too optimistic. Some say that it's too early. A lot of companies are working on that aspect of it. And you can think of it in the future when we have singularity, that everything is connected with everything. And we are so much embedded into this artificial intelligence that it's hard to differentiate the humans' decisions from AI decisions. And once we get to that point, until then, we need to be very careful about the task and responsibilities and make very data-driven decisions when we are deciding which tasks should be automated. And overall, this pipeline of automation helps organizations to be more adaptive when they are making decisions. So one example of this Gen AI or this agentic AI that I wanted to make is by this product that is Amazon Q, as offered by Amazon. And what it does is that it helps throughout the process to collect data, to analyze data, to report data, visualize it, provide insights, recommendations, intelligence at the very end. So all this that used to be done by multiple people, but through multiple steps, all of that is collapsed into one big package that is all automated by products like Amazon Q, that we feed enterprise data into it, and it will automate all these important steps that are required in business process management. We need to collect data about our tasks, we need to analyze them, we need to report them, going through all that life cycle that I mentioned before. So I just wanted to finish with this final slides and talk about business processes in finance. One specific process that's very important in finance is the relationship between businesses, suppliers, and businesses and customers and clients. So the relationship businesses have through the pay to order to pay process or pay to order process, is that when they request some supplies and they get invoiced and they pay for those orders, they pay the supplies for the supplies that they receive from them. So that's the relationship, the finance relationship between a business and a supplier. At the same time, businesses, they have a seller relationship with their customers, and clients or users where they sell them the products. That's the order to cash process where they provide them with the give them or sell them their products and services. So this is an important business process in finance that I wanted to mention, and I'm gonna wrap it up and summarize in the last slide by looking at this and see that where what's the most important thing, right? If we look at this process at high level, what's the most important thing that we need to pay attention to when we are thinking about automating processes like this, order to cash process, order to pay processes. I published a book chapter on this, and I get into the details of specific details of automation opportunities and all the specifications of it in that book chapter. But so I just want to summarize this. So if you are thinking about automating a process like this, what are the most important things? So this slide will summarize everything that I talked about today. With that, I started with that broad context, and I'm going to finish with this conceptual model. So when we talk about process automation, we're talking about businesses with a specific goals and a strategy in mind, right? It's very important for business processes to look at their goals, strategies, their needs, their stakeholders, what needs or concerns that they have. And then they look at their organizational processes between internal organizational processes that will be helping them to achieve their goals or accomplish their strategies. Between them and the ways that their employees work together, managers, staff, all together. At the same time, they have organizations need to look at their interorganizational processes, the relationships that they have with other processes, and what are the concerns, what are the policies, what are the regulations, how they're going to work with other processes. So overall, we have two categories of processes, and all of those processes combined together will allow them to provide the products and services to customers and clients through business to consumer or to customer processes, business to B2B processes. They are able to accomplish their business strategy. They are able to provide products and services to customers and clients. So what becomes important in this model that summarizes everything that I talked about today is that the organizational processes, internal organizational processes must be aligned with needs, requirements, goals, for example, timeline, the specific goals in mind in terms of efficiency, in terms of cost, and all of that. They need to be aligned with B2C, B2B processes that we have with customers. At the same time, our interorganizational processes must be designed or analyzed to be aligned with our B2C or B2B processes with our customers and clients. So the role of AI in all of this is that AI is consistently collecting data and ensures that alignment. So that's the very powerful impact that AI has, that is constantly collecting data, and it makes this alignment between organizational processes, interorganizational processes. It makes it constantly collecting data. The agents are running in the background. They're collecting a lot of data. They can potentially collect a lot of data. And it becomes more towards the business needs because a lot of all those manual tasks that I mentioned, they will be all automated and it's more interactive. So we can constantly make changes, edit things, change how data is collected to identify bottlenecks, to identify improvements that we can make in processes. And overall, it makes our organized AI and the impact of AI, such as Amazon Q or ChatGPT or Claude or you name it, it will help our organizational and interorganizational processes more manageable, highly manageable. This summarizes where AI plays a role at high level, and what becomes important is alignment between those processes and within this network, this complex network. And ultimately, it will help organizations to be more adaptive and be more scalable overall. So I would like to finish with this final slide that humorizes what we have been observing with a lot of companies. And some companies are avoiding this problem. They're more aware of it. Is that as AI is automating more, and then employees or staff are tasked to do more, and that is also something that we need to be aware of. that the quality of work and the work-life balances and how our employees are employee satisfaction is also important. Making sure that we don't overload our staff, our employees with more and more work and responsibility in this level, creating a lot of burnouts as well for them. So just wanted to finish with that slide. That's sort of like humorize an aspect of automation that in some places, in some companies, provides more work for the employees or staff. And that is my presentation. You have my email on the slide. So if anyone has any questions about the field of information systems or many of these topics that I mentioned, we do cover them in information systems program that we offer. We have a course on generative AI. We have a course on uh, uh, product management. We have a course on project management. We have a course on AI ethics and safety that I said is important. So we cover a lot of these critical competencies that companies are looking for in our MSIS program. So if you have any questions, I'm sure there will be opportunities. Hannah, so feel free to reach out to me and we can discuss more. It was a pleasure giving the presentation. I hope I gave you some insights into very extensive field and I'm going to leave you with some quick thoughts that you can
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much, Professor. That was really helpful and a lot of details. As you can see, quite a few questions have come in. Someone has also requested, can we get a copy of your slides? We will be sharing the link to the presentation, so you will have all the details with you. But I'm sure now that you've heard wonderful presentation by Professor here, I'm sure you all are more interested in knowing, hey, what are the programs? How do I apply to all of these wonderful programs and much more? So without further ado, over to you, Hannah. Let's listen to more about the programs and offerings at USF.
Excellent. Thank you all. I see that we had about 315 people in attendance,
Yes.
and I know that it is morning, noon, and night for everyone internationally. So I'm just so grateful to have your eyes and ears here today. And hopefully, after Dr. Dadgar, as well as this presentation, we will meet one another. One of the questions that I saw often in the Q&A is about profile evaluations. Is this a good fit? Can I apply this coursework to my current degree? And while I wish I could type fast enough and be able to give you all of those answers in the Q&A, that is a personal evaluation. And our admissions team, myself, Maureen, Tim, Lindsay, we are here to provide those opportunities for you. So know that I will provide some links in the chat for us to connect and to learn a little bit more about how to meet and provide evaluations, etc. So we've learned a little bit about University of San Francisco, but let's keep rolling through it to learn about the school as a whole. At University of San Francisco, we are celebrating providing 100 years of premier Jesuit management education. Now, if you're not familiar, San Francisco is located in California on the west coast of the United States. And when you're choosing education, it's important to be very focused on your location. So San Francisco, you may be familiar with us because we're known as the AI capital of the world. And it's not just a slogan. San Francisco and the greater Bay Area are home to over 1,200 AI startups. It's where OpenAI, Anthropic, Google DeepMind, Meta AI, all of these are headquartered or have major offices. It's where venture capital firms invest billions annually into emerging technologies. So this region here, uniquely in San Francisco, fuels a talent ecosystem unlike anywhere else on the earth. So the Bay Area overall has secured a total of $90 billion in VC funding just in 1 year alone. So that means that AI continues to be a primary focus of investors. And I share that information with you because I see in the chat often, how does this university impact my career? How do I transition from an F1 visa student to an H1B visa student? How does this location benefit me? Well, this is the global hub of AI. This is where we are going to be spending the money. This is where our students will come and why we are ranked #1 in San Francisco for MBA programs, because our students will benefit from our small class sizes and our career-focused education. With 98% of our graduate students obtaining an internship rate and 94% securing employment within 6 months of graduation, that global ecosystem of AI is uniquely benefiting you as a University of San Francisco student. Now, rankings are important. We like to participate with them, but mainly I want to focus on our location and how this applies to you. California is the fourth largest global economy. California is the primary H-1B visa provider in the US. So whether you are looking to participate in AI, in IT and software, in social and digital media, or life science or venture capitalism as an entrepreneurship or international business or clean tech, San Francisco uniquely provides you with the best and highest paid job opportunities in these areas. So whether you are an international student looking to study in the prime region, or you are a student looking to live and benefit from careers in this prime region, University of San Francisco is uniquely located downtown next to these great opportunities and will put you in the center. Now, while you are enrolled at University of San Francisco, you'll have excellent opportunities for experiential learning. Whether you're choosing an MBA program or a specialty master's, you will have access to executive career coaches, anywhere between 2 to 5 client projects, participating in co-curricular activities like a consulting group, or maybe you're looking for a product management group, the AI and sustainability groups. These are all options for you to benefit beyond the classroom, to focus in areas like sustainability and AI ethics, analytics, and entrepreneurship. There were a lot of questions I saw in the chat about what can I do with my community and how can I advance myself? What additional skill sets do I need beyond just a degree? And that's why we provide our students with experiential learning opportunities. We want to take your classroom experience and expand upon it for you to connect with students outside of your cohort, to connect with companies outside of the university, so you can really add benefit to your 1 to 2 years of investment at University of San Francisco. Now, what types of companies do you work with while you are a student? Remember, 98% of our students will obtain an internship. So through internship and practicum opportunities, you'll work with companies like Pixar, Kiva, the Vigaro, Alma. You'll work with companies like Anderson Tax. 44% of master's internships translate into full-time employment, and 23% of MBA internships translate to full-time employment. So whether you are the international student who wants to stay in the US or you are the international student who wants to return to your home country, these are resume building experiences. These are career building opportunities that uniquely exist in San Francisco. Because proximity to Silicon Valley is key when you're choosing a global degree. We are the global epicenter for tech, startup, and venture capital. And this is a culturally diverse city that welcomes global talent, allowing you to experience a multicultural business environment. So while you may not be planning to be an AI engineer, you will benefit from the San Francisco AI ecosystem. The AI companies are rooted in San Francisco and they bring positions for engineers, but also not engineering roles like product managers, business analysts, business development, marketing and communications, sales, CSR, and CSM. Don't forget about tech support specialists and ethics specialists, L&D, ops managers, and so much more. These are opportunities that you can have access to in the next 12 months by enrolling in University of San Francisco. We offer a compelling set of graduate programs that range from 1 to 2 years and have STEM certified to engage in STEM education and OPT. So many of you are curious about the full-time 2-year MBA. Maybe some of you are executive MBA with 20 years of professional experience. We offer dual degree opportunities. We also offer 1-year specialty master's program, like the Master's in Management Business Technology, Entrepreneurship or Marketing Intelligence, and even Data Science and Computer Science. You'll find that we have many graduate programs at University of San Francisco that will position you for a career-focused education, STEM education, and looking at about 98% employment rate post-graduation. If you do not see the program of your dreams on this screen, let me know. because at USF we have over 50 professional arts, sciences, education, and nursing degrees. I like to say there's something for everyone at any given time at University of San Francisco, and our admissions team are here to help you. You're probably curious about when you need to apply. We have our upcoming application deadline on January 15th. This is the prime time for international candidates to apply. The longer you wait, the less visa time that you have. So please prepare your application and apply early. You'll see on the screen that we have a pretty standard application with transcripts, a resume, a statement of purpose essay, 2 letters of recommendation. Most programs do require an interview, and that the GRE and GMAT is optional. Every month, we host workshops, all dedicated for you crafting your best application. So if you still have questions about who to choose for a reference, what to write in an essay, how to prepare for an interview, please join me for one of the upcoming events to learn about how to submit your best application. Every graduate student is concerned about cost. I know I was when I did my MBA. So just as a quick plug that we have Seed Scholars programs available, which Sabaha will share some information about, but applying by January 15th will put you in an opportunity to become a Seed Scholar. Know that if you are not a Seed Scholar, you still have access to other scholarship opportunities within University of San Francisco, but the main thing you want to remember is to apply early. These are competitive opportunities. They do not last until March or May, so having your application prepared and ready for submission will benefit you most. Now, I know that this was a lot of information and you'd like to learn more, so know that monthly information sessions are designed for you. We host how to apply, F1 visa workshops, one-to-one, career sessions, and programmatic info sessions. Attend them. The more you attend, the more confident of an applicant you will be. The more likely Dr. Dadgar and I will recognize you as well, which is always helpful when you're applying for a competitive program. So pay attention to the deadlines, open the emails, meet with us one-to-one or in small group sessions for your best opportunity. I'll throw the link in the chat for our School of Management events, as well as our email address, and know that our team is available to meet with you and chat with you online at any time. I know that that's a lot of information, but we have time for Q&A, right, Sabaha?
Yes, we do. Couple of questions coming right up.
Excellent.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Hannah. That was very helpful. Thank you for all the important links as well. I believe Ramya has shared quite a few links which are super important and helpful. Great. Professor and Hannah, both of you, thank you so much. I see that you have gone through answering all of the questions, but keeping in mind the timeline and the fact that sometimes a few students do have same questions, I'm going to pick a few most commonly asked questions, if I may say so. So, Professor, I would like to start with you. Return on investment is a big factor, especially for international students who are looking to study in the US. So, with automation technologies, can you speak a little bit about which industry has shown the highest return on investment, and what is it that students who are especially coming to study in San Francisco consider as options for them upon graduation?
Yeah, so that to answer that question, there's a lots of variability. I mean, it's point one specific industry that if you go in that industry, you're going to be successful. But I would like to say that if you're equipped with essential competencies and skill sets, you will be valuable and useful in different industries. Given what digital transformation, they are transforming significantly a lot of companies at different levels and different stages, right? You can be this help organizations or companies or businesses with that transformation in any industry. So as long as or you can critically think, you're an analytical thinker, you're a problem solver, you can help them gain efficiency. This is what a lot of companies are asking. Where can I use AI? How can I go through this transformation, automate certain tasks? How can I gain business value, minimize cost, maximize business value? So as long as you're that person, you can be very useful, you can be very successful, and you can get a lot of return on your investment from that if you are that person. So it's hard to, because a lot of industries, a lot of sectors in the US are going through that digital transformation now, and they have that kind of need. So if you are useful in that sense, you can be useful in any industry.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Hannah, I'm going to quickly bring you into this. Let's talk a little bit about the career services support that is provided to international students. And I see that you've just answered that question, but I'm going to slightly pivot into that again and speak a little bit about what are the kind of job opportunities and options that are available to international students on campus, off campus, what to expect once they graduate.
Absolutely. I love this question. It's also a long answer. So
Sure.
remember that our job as an institution is to provide you with services. We have staff for international student visa, for career management, for admissions. We have folks who are dedicated to your housing opportunities, whether that's on campus or off campus. USF as an institution wants to see you successful and thriving in the Bay Area. And we employ a lot of people to make sure that that's happening. Now, we have some things that are required. For example, in the MBA program, you have required career coursework. You must pass career classes in order to move on to your analytics classes. You must meet with your executive career coach in order to register for your next semester. So we have a lot of career management built in and required into your program. Then we have co-curricular and optional opportunities. And whether you are in a 1 year or a specialty master's program or an MBA program of 2 years, these are all available so that you can book a 30-minute appointment with an executive career coach and say, I'm evaluating the analytics industry right now. What do I need to know to prepare for this? So that gives you that one-to-one level of service. We also have small group opportunities where on Fridays we bring in AI experts for pizza and lunch. Is it required? No. It's about you learning and engaging in the ecosystem. So we give you multiple levels of how to engage professionally, from internships, practicums, explorations, one-on-one coaching, as well as industry experts in the community. Now, that's a lot to manage. So we pace it out for you as well, because every week you can't always be career focused, but we do give you many opportunities to really engage with the industry that you're looking to be employed in. It does take student work. You do have to show up. You are in a competitive environment. But as far as staffing is concerned, your faculty, your student advisors, we are here to see you be successful.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Hannah. And just to sort of add on to that, and if I may, I always say this that get in touch with the career services team the minute you get onto campus. They can work wonders for you. Unfortunately, they're not fairy godmothers with a magic stick. So do not turn up there 2 days before you're about to graduate. Get in touch, make the most of these um, services that are available to you from day one so that you are well prepared and industry ready upon your graduation to get into the market. Uh, I know we are pressed for time, but just a couple of closing questions. Professor, if I may, apart from the regular requirements that the university has, any specific courses or, you know, electives that students should take if they're looking to apply to any of these specific programs, which will sort of give them a competitive edge amongst the others in the applicant pool?
Yeah, so for the specifically for the MSIS program, we do students are going to be successful if they have some technical understanding. But that could be coming from their education, that could be coming from their work experience, professional technical work experience. So anything that can help them to gain that perspective, to gain that technical understanding will be very, very, very important, essential for specifically for the exercise program. That could be related to coding, that could be related to software development, that could be related to automation, that could be about digital platforms, as software as a service platforms. It could be about AI. More importantly, it could be about agentic AI. And there are so many of those opportunities out there, lessons.
Right.
Cadwell, for example, Google, they have all those agentic AI courses that they offer. So all of that helps them to be very successful in MSI, is that technical understanding. And that's what we control for through our review of applications as well.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Professor. That was super helpful. So yes, please do check out these courses. They are going to give you a competitive edge. My last question for this evening, and Hannah, I'm going to give this one to you. So we noticed quite a few questions that had come in. A lot of students, especially in India, do have the opportunity of pursuing an MBA right after they graduate. The system back in the US is different. With regards to USF, can you tell them if someone was looking to apply for a master's versus the MBA, what exactly are the requirements in terms of work experience and other requirements for these students?
Great question. So, whether you're evaluating University of San Francisco or any US school, MBA programs have a work experience requirement for post graduation. So, our expectation for a talented MBA is that they have at minimum 2 years full time work experience. The average USF MBA candidate has 5.5 years. So our admissions team will always work with you to identify if you are USF MBA ready, or if a specialty master's program like Master's in Management, Business Technology, or if entrepreneurship or marketing intelligence are a better fit. So know that MBA has strict work requirements, while specialty master's programs often are designed for early career professionals, folks that are at 0 or 1 or 2 years. Obviously, we want you to always evaluate the curriculum, make sure that your career goals apply and that our curriculum will meet that and have alignment. But our teams are available to help you understand pre-work experience, typically specialty masters. Work experience at 2 to 6 years is going to be more MBA ready. But that's why we're here to have consultation appointments with you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Professor and Hannah, you have
Sabahat, we might be losing you a little bit.
lost me for some reason.
Ooh. Okay, it looks like you're back.
I'm so sorry. I think I got disconnected. But yeah, just as I wanted to say, thank you so much, Professor and Hannah, for the wonderful session, and apologies for while we have taken leaps and bounds in technology, we sometimes do suffer from these glitches. But yes, with that, I would like to conclude the session for today. Thank you, Ramya, Hannah, and Professor Dadgar. That was super exciting, innovative, lots of information. We still have around 200 plus students who are in the audience. I'm sure you've all benefited a lot from this session. To know more, please feel free to reach out to the team at USF. They've shared their email IDs and contact details. If you wish to know more, get in touch with us at SEED. And yes, the SEED Scholarship Fund, which USF is a part of, is open. Please go onto our website and look up at the details and apply. Application fee waivers and other details we will be sharing with you shortly, along with the link to this masterclass for those of you who could not attend the entire duration of that. With that, it's me, Sabahat, and I'm signing off. And thank you so much once again to all of you. Thank you. Bye.